Man, when you think about last week, we sit up here and we talk about respecting the game and the integrity of the game. But time after time, it seems like our kids and our schools, people seem to turn a blind eye most of the time to really what be going on. A lot of things happen in that football game, that we didn't have control over. It was 28 penalties thrown, 22 of them were against us, and 4 were offsetting. And I know sometimes it's a bit controversial to talk about it, and everybody has their own opinion, but you have to, experience it to understand where, someone's coming from. Now, ultimately, we lost the football game, and I'm responsible as the head football coach. We have to be able to, go on the road and have our kids to sustain and survive in that environment and come out with the win. But it's frustrating as a coach, so I can imagine how it is, to a teenager. So like I said, ultimately I'm responsible, but it just seems like it just goes unnoticed, and it's almost, nobody wants to talk about it, and the cliche is, the narrative continues to be, you're fighting a losing battle, or you're down 14 points when you go down there, or whatever the case may be. So, like I say, when you think about last week, ultimately, like I said, we lost the football game, and I'm responsible for that. But man, it's a lot of stuff that happened in that game that was out of our control.
The biggest thing, it's hard to tell your kids to keep their composure when they're out there playing as hard as they can, doing everything right. You're not playing, taking shots on people. You're playing between the whistles, but you go on the road and just it's hard to just keep your composure at times. They make it seem like we're out of character because we're playing good football. We hitting between the whistles. Watching film had a lot of places where our kids were just literally getting cheap shotted, and just something has to be done about it. At the end of the day, this is a game. It's not life or death, but you go on the road. You literally, when you tell your kids you're 14 points down, it's hard. I know once we got down to Eufaula, we looked up on the scoreboard and they literally had 21-0 up on the scoreboard, and we lost by 21 points. And it's just one of those things that we got to continue to fight. But some things, like Coach said, is really out of our hand. And it's you try not to make excuses. But something really has to be done. Something, somebody needs to look into it, because when the penalty count is what it is, and every penalty is against you, and every penalty that's committed against both teams is always offset, somebody needs to really look into it. We're gonna continue to do what we do, play physical, play hard, play fast, but just going on the road, it's hard, and we just gotta continue to do what we do.
When you go in a game like this, when you got a good team that you're facing, you can't do all 3 phases of the game. We lost all 3 phases of the game, special team, offense and defense. We moved the ball well. We had our chance to score, but as a coaching staff, we didn't give our kids opportunity to score. So it's up to me. I take the blame on this game. It's up to me to get my kids prepared and get my coach staff to do what they need to do. So this week we'll be prepared and we'll be ready to go.
Well, for us, it was a physical game. We knew it was going to be a physical game. We kind of needed that. We had a lot of young guys that need to rough it up a little bit. So it was a good game from that standpoint. Execution right on defense. We did some good things. We were disciplined. So that was really well. It went really well. I think our offense, there's no flow to it. If you're an offensive team, you have to have flow to your game, and I feel like we don't have the flow to the game that we need. But we're working hard. We're doing the things we need to do in practice. That's where it all starts for me. The habits that you create in practice are going to usually show themselves in the game. So we got to do a better job of just creating good habits in practice and doing the right thing. I was kind of telling the guys last week that this is one of those games where you can have sloppy play because the team does some things that's different that you don't normally see. So, your team can get out of whack if you don't do the right thing. But I felt like we stayed consistent with our assignments and doing what we're supposed to do. Now I'm just looking for us to get better as a team as a whole. Scoreboard, there's no indication of, how we play. Russell County did some good things. I still say they did some good things. Hell, we only scored 12 points, so they did some good things. But we just got to get better as a team. And and that's on me to get us focused in practice and do the right thing.
Well, we started the season off dropping the first 4. We could have tucked our tails, but the guys, they came to practice every day, still worked hard, and now they're starting to reap, the harvest, if you want to use that term. But just proud of the team effort. Guys not folding it up, guys not quitting, guys staying with it. And that's life. We talk about all the time. Life's gonna knock you down, but you got to get back up. And these guys, they continue to get up, come to practice to get better. Getting great play from our freshmen. Seniors, seniors pretty much do what seniors do. They've been in it for the last 3 years. They understand it. They know what to expect. But it's the production from our freshman class that's that's driving us right now, because they're able to spare guys reps, and when they do, we're not getting beat. They're holding it in the road until those guys can return, and we're thankful for all those guys.
And for us, the message to our team is moving forward. It's gut check time for us and our football team. There's absolutely, and our team meeting Sunday, we have 0 excuses. That's our motto this week and moving forward for the rest of this football season is no excuses. The reality is for whatever reason, we've dropped our last 2 football games. So that's why we say it's gut check time. Our schedule doesn't get any easier. When you're talking about a Lanier team, when you turn on the film, you're playing a team that's going to play hard, a team that's going to play with grit. They're going to give you everything they got for 4 quarters. So for us, we still just have to make sure that we're doing the things that we feel like we need to do to win football games, be technically sound, and be mentally strong. So as far as the game this week and all the hype surrounding it, we're doing our best not to buy into it. It's gut check time for us. We got to show up and be mentally ready to play because we know what kind of game it's going to be. It's going to be a physical game, and play for 4 quarters with a strong mentality, and we'll let the chips fall where they fall at the end of the game.
The biggest thing is making sure that we get healthy. There's still a lot of football to go. Like we keep telling the guys, they've been preaching like all week since Sunday, 3-0. Go 3-0, everything's fine. Get a new 0-0 record, and then it's week to week. And the biggest thing is getting back to the grit, grind, going at each other, getting the competitive edge back, and just make sure we don't lose it before next week's Reading game versus Russell County. And the biggest thing is just making sure that we do what we need to do to get ready for this last rush right here. Like we tell them, 3-0. 3-0, give you the opportunity to go 5-0.
All right, Coach. Important game coming this week. You got to face Central Saturday morning, so y'all kind of doing the college football type environment. How do you guys plan to bounce back, from last week and put everything behind you and focus on this week going forward?
We just been telling the guy about this week. We got to be prepared. Got to be prepared because we're playing a good team. They good all across the board. Good D-line, secondary very physical, very fast. Good receivers. We just got to be prepared. And when opportunity will come, we got to cash it in. That's what we didn't do last week. We kind of put this on our schedule. We mark this on our calendar this year. That we always, every day before practice, we always say 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Because 8 seconds away from going to the state championship. So the guys understand how important this game is. And we're excited to be able to get a chance to pick the #1 team. And hopefully we come out there and cash in on our opportunities. We'll be successful on Saturday morning.
Well, I think it's just execution. Being mentally tough, thinking about the next play and not worrying about what happened in the last couple of plays or whatever. That's the biggest thing. Like I told my guys against Lee and Jeff Davis, I want you to play with emotions, but don't be emotional. Stay within the game, stay within the moment. We kind of preach that, for games, stay within that moment. Don't try to get ahead of yourself. And I talked to him yesterday just about, just take the scoreboard out of this game. Just don't even think score, don't even think time, don't even think none of that. Just think that you playing an opponent that's good and well coached, and they're out to get you, and you just got to play every play. If you spend your time looking up at that scoreboard, it ain't gonna do you no good. You better focus on the guys that's across from you, and that's what it's all about. It's about getting better as a team. I tend to tell my guys, we don't talk much about who we play next. This is kind of why I can't skip around who we play next. The guys, you know, they got it in their minds, their parents have it in their mind, our students have it in their mind. So we know what we're up against. We'll come out and we'll play hard. And I think the guys, you know, they're excited to play Carver. And I say that because I always talk to them about we're two black teams who are trying to excel, not only in football, but we're trying to make good men. At the end of the day, that's all me and Coach trying to do. Yeah, we know it's a rivalry. We understand that, and we're gonna come out and hit. We're gonna play like crazy. But at the end of the day, go play football and keep your manhood behind it. You don't need no extra. You don't need, you know, to be trying to be no hero. Just do your job. That's what we're talking, you know, in our building. Do your job. And I think the guys there will prepare well and we'll come out and it'll be a good football game.
All right, first and foremost, it's a blessing to be going to the 7th week of the season and still playing for something after starting off 0-4. Now we done won the last two, won our first region game. We're still right there in the playoff hunt. We don't take our blessings for granted, so we're going to come out there and be fired up and put our best foot forward to get a win. We don't got a hungry Prattville team coming in. They're well coached and got some explosive guys, and they got an O-line and a D-line that really gets after it. So we know we're going to be tested there. We got to make sure that we're doing everything that we're supposed to do to be right there in the closing minutes of the game and come out victorious.
Everybody knows what it is this week. You know, big time game versus what everybody like to call the Fairview, the Battle of Fairview.